In this video, I'd like to share with you my desk setup, which is the desk I have from Vernal. And they actually reached out to me. They wanted to sponsor a video. And it was perfect because I've had this desk for over a year and it's been simply amazing. And on top of that, they sent me an actual walnut wood desk, which I'll also show you. So both desks are from Vernal, and a huge thank you to them for sponsoring this video. If you've watched my channel before, you know that, like, I think in the last month I have over 24 videos posted to this channel. None of them have a sponsor. So I'm very selective about my sponsors, and I couldn't be more grateful for Vernal for sponsoring this video. The very first place I'd like to start is with the desk itself. I have one of their longer variants. They do have several different sizes to choose from, and I'll put in the description like exactly the size of my desk. But I like this because I have an ultra-wide monitor, so it gives me plenty of space to have a balanced setup. Now, this is a sit and stand desk, and what I've done actually is I've tossed out my chair simply because I like to stand at the desk. So whenever I'm here, this is actually the position I have it in, and it's perfect for my height. Now, they do have a bunch of like preset options that you can program into here. So I've got one for sitting, which I don't use, but I will show you why I do have a sitting position locked into this keypad a little bit later on. Reason I tossed out my chair, just to stand, to be more active, to be able to move around like this. It just, like, I'm here all day. So whether it's for my daytime job and then in the evenings, I record these YouTube videos. So it's like a lot of sitting if I just constantly sit at this desk. Plus, what I like about not having the chair is that it just frees up a lot of space. This is actually a garage space that I'm working out of. So I've made my entire studio in the garage, and I have a separate video on that. So if you want to see that, you can check that out later. A couple things have changed from the time that I did that video, but you'll get the idea as to how I've built this space so that way I can just have an efficient workplace in terms of my daytime job, but then also an efficient workplace that has several different setups for making these videos. As for the laminate wood on the desk, it's held up really well. I actually clean this like once a month or every couple of weeks. I'll move everything around and I'll just clean the surface of the desk, and that's just kept it looking really good. It's held up really well. Sometimes I put my camera on here, sometimes I put other gear on here. So in terms of its durability, it's been nothing but a great desk. I think I've had it now for a year and a half total. So that's a long time. And at the same time, like when you do use like the different positions of the desk, the motors have held up really well. So that's another nice thing. Now, they also offer a desk shelf for the desk, and I have it on both of the desks simply because it gives you one extra level of space where you can put things like your decorations or things that mean something to you, because your desk space is all about you, right? It's a reflection of who you are. And as you'll see in many of my videos, one of the things you'll find throughout my videos are these little guys. My minions, man. I love minions simply because they just have such a great, fun personality to them. And I think that with minions, what's cool is that they do what we would want to do as adults, but we don't do it because, we got to be all like sophisticated and stuff. But I love my minions. And here's the thing, because my friends, my family, my nieces, nephews, they know that I love minions. Somebody is always bringing a new minion to me. So I always have a minion to put somewhere in this studio space. And if I had the accent for it, trust me, you could call me Gru, because I've got an army of them in here. Now, as for the top shelf, like I said, it just gives you extra space to put little tiny things. I've got an Xbox controller up here. I've got one of my own products, which is the Magsafe Anywhere mount. I have one of these in the shower, which I use to actually like trim my beard and stuff. Is a great product. I really love this product. And so it serves as a placeholder on the top shelf of the desk. I chose the longer one simply to keep this space looking good and well balanced. with that ultra wide monitor. Now at the bottom of the shelf, you've got two openings. So one side is supposed to actually be like a tray that you can use for like small little items or maybe a smaller keyboard. But I took that out and I put my Xbox there just because I think it like completes the space really well. And then on the other side is just an opening. So you could slide your keyboard into there or put something else there. I've got little things like my diary. I've got my Ringconn case that I can throw my ring into whenever I do need to charge. And then I'll also keep my AirPods there as well. At the left side of the desk, I have my own product. It's a 3-in-1 charger. It's Magsafe, and so it's great for your iPhone up to 15 watts, your watch up to 5 watts, and then AirPods up to 3. But what's different about this 3-in-1, I spent a lot of time on this development, is the fact that it's got lots of heat dissipation, which is something that you don't see on any other 3-in-1. At least it's not something that I've seen. Because when I was working with this sample and we're going back and forth with the supplier and just working out all the little kinks, I wanted that to be something that I implement into this product simply because 3-in-1 systems, when you put your phone on there, they do tend to get pretty hot and they have nowhere for the heat to go. So heat can escape from here, the sides, even in the watch port. So this was a key change that I actually made with this product. And on top of that, what I really emphasized was having the ability to control the ambient lighting. So not only can you turn the lights on, but you can also turn them off. So if you are using this at your bedside, which is something I do as well, then you can keep the lights completely off. And that's what I like to do. And so a lot of 3-in-1s will have like blue light and stuff. It's not good for you when you sleep. So I really put a lot of work into this. It is only up to 15 watts, right? When the new phones do up to 25, but this is still pretty ample and great for charging up my device, whether I'm here at this desk setup or if I'm going to bed, I can just throw my iPhone Air on there and I'm good to go by morning time. Also at the left side, you'll find my AirPods Max, and I absolutely love these. I bought these when they came out, and honestly, I wasn't sure because I hadn't bought over-the-ear headphones, and everybody was complaining about the price of these at that time, just like people are now with the iPhone Air being $1,000 because they can't understand that price isn't just relative to what you see on a piece of paper. It's relative to the experience, to the build quality of a device. And this is exactly why I like the AirPods Max. Call me a fanboy if you want, I could care less. These are the best headphones that I've felt when it comes to material build. Yes, they are heavier, but they've given me nothing but an amazing experience. There's two use cases I have for these. One when I'm using them at the desk, and then when I travel, I put these on, and crying babies on an airplane are a thing of the past. I would highly recommend these. These are the Lightning ones. There was nothing that changed other than USB-C for like the current generation that they have. So Apple hasn't updated these in a long time. But looking back at it, great investment. I couldn't be happier with the AirPods Max. The next thing I want to move to is my M4 Mac Mini. What a beast of a computer. Not only is it like this tiny, it's slightly bigger than an Apple TV, but the amount of performance this thing provides you, it's going to be one of those computers you buy once and then you can go years and years and you will be so happy with the value that you can get out of this machine simply because it's priced so good. I got the base model. I have an external SSD that I share between this and my M4 MacBook Air. And I've got it connected into this like cool little dock that I talked about in a separate video. And I just really like that because it makes the Mac Mini look like a basically mini Macintosh. I've got the Mac Mini connected to my LG Ultrawide monitor, which I've again had for 5 years, and you will see a similarity here. A lot of things I keep for a long time simply because I like to get the value out of things. Like if it ain't broke, we're not gonna fix it. Like I don't need to make a change if everything's okay. And this monitor has been one of those things. Now, I will say though, I am looking forward to seeing what they do with the studio display, especially if they bring a higher refresh rate to it, because that might be something I might consider if I can sell this for a reasonable price. I don't want to have to just go out and spend a bunch of money on a studio display this is doing just fine. It gives me a nice like 38-inch screen that's ultra wide. I can do two things at once. You can even have like split inputs. The only difficult thing with this monitor is the name, and I'll just put that down in the description below because it's very lengthy. But otherwise, this monitor for 5 years now has been nothing short of a wonderful experience, whether it's been video editing, photo editing, or just my daytime job. On top of the monitor, I have a Obsbot webcam. Now, Obsbot actually sponsored one of my videos a couple videos back. I think it was a Mac Mini setup video I did. And before that, I used to use my iPad Pro for like all my Google Meet meetings. And I would just have it with me on the desk and I'd just use the camera of the iPad Pro. But ever since Obspot sponsored that video, I've just been keeping this webcam because it's got a lot of functions and it's just nice to have the webcam there. What I also like is that it does have this like privacy cover. So you can literally put that on there when you're not using the webcam, because that is always a concern of mine. Now, coming to my keyboard and trackpad combination. This is, again, something I've had for 5 years, Space Black Magic Keyboard with the numeric keys. I use numbers a lot, and I also like the fact that when I'm at this desk, right, because of the ultra-wide monitor, because of the larger desk, this just completes that look. A smaller Magic Keyboard would not look as good. And again, this is a Lightning one. It's been working great. Yes, I don't have like the Touch ID built into here and stuff, but in terms of typing, in terms of durability, I can't complain. Another thing I love to use is my Magic Trackpad. I don't use a mouse. I just love all the gestures, being able to pinch in, pinch out. It's just such a great experience. And ever since I had a 16-inch MacBook Pro and that had that large trackpad, I purchased this when I did my first like Mac Mini setup, which was the M1 Mac Mini. And ever since then, I've just enjoyed this. And what I also enjoy about this is the fact that on my MacBook Air, I also have a really large trackpad. They're, matter of fact, like very close in terms of size with each other. So this, again, Lightning one, had it for 5 years. It's been great. It's not broke, so we're not going to fix it. Now, the most trickiest part about any desk setup is cable management, right? And one thing I liked with the Vernal desk is that they've got a built-in tray that comes and it just like latches onto these two hooks that you place underneath the desk. Not only that, I also like, so anytime you get a standing desk, it's going to have the motors and the controllers that go into like the middle part of the desk. And those have like wires that dangle. And it's really annoying to look. Like if you look at my desk at the back, there's a desk behind me, right? That one doesn't have like this cover. Vernal gives you this like nice cover that you can just screw into place after you've arranged all the cables, and you just have such a nice and clean look. So that is something I really liked about the actual desk from Vernal. Now in that catch tray at the bottom of the desk, I've got power strips and thereby Anker. I'll put the exact model in the description. But what I like about that power strip is not only does it have like USB-C ports and stuff, but it's got ample space between each socket. Because when you're connecting so many different things, like I've got light bars behind the monitor, I've got like different wall plugs and stuff, right? Everything is a different size. And so having a power strip that has ample space between all the different plugs just gives you the versatility to not be wasting any of the sockets. So I turned the camera a little bit so I could show you that all these cables are going to the back of my monitor. So I've got like some light bars back here, and then the monitor arm, I just like took all the cables, they go up and then over. Now, one thing that you're going to see like cables between the two different desks, right? Because I have like a light in that corner, I have like the printer on the second desk and everything. Because I have so many different things and this is a studio space, I was actually waiting to like finalize a few things before I get like cable raceways between the two. But I wanted your opinion, like, do you think I should get a black one or a white one that's going across between the two desks so that way I can just have it look as neat as possible? between the two desks because now I've got everything set up the way I want it to. Now I want to talk about the second desk, which is different than this one in the sense that it's actual wood compared to laminate wood. And I will tell you, you're going to have to call a friend to help you set this one up because it is heavy. Like I had one of my buddies come over and we both set it up. It's still very simple to set it up, just like this one was, because you literally just lay down the tabletop, screw in the legs, flip it all over, and then set up the shelf and anything else that you have. Also, what I love about standing desks is the fact that when you are setting up wires, you can actually raise them up pretty high. So you don't have to do the old thing of like crawling under the desk and laying flat on your back and like messing with all the cables like that. So that's also something I like about any standing desk. It's not particular to this one. Now with this walnut desk, I also have like their integrated drawer, which is nice because you can keep like things that you really quickly need, right? So I've got like a bunch of like spare phones and stuff in there that I'll use from time to time for different videos. And beneath that, they also sent me their storage cabinet, which has been a huge help simply because like I have so much camera equipment, I have so much other stuff. I always have like so many things I'm ordering to review. Like I had tons of battery packs, tons of cases, all this stuff, right? So it gives me a place to just keep things like organized, but also kept tucked away. Now I'm still completing like the second desk setup, but again, I have like a printer on there for all my label printers for my online store because I literally pack the orders here. And then I have another 3-in-1. I have like the Anker Prime charger, which has like multiple USB-C ports that you can actually control the power of. I'm not really utilizing it like that, but because I have so many different things, I have a multiport not only on this desk, but also right here off to the left side. And then I've got my second monitor, which is actually a monitor from Samsung, and again, here too live a couple of minions. These two cars that I actually put at the base of the monitor, these were given to me by my nieces. So each of them gave me one car. So I just permanently glued it. Now, lastly, before I let you go, I want to talk about that one setting. So both of these desks, if I press one on them, they will go to the lowest setting simply because across the room on the other side, I have a projector with an Apple TV connected to it, which projects the football games that I watch on Sunday right to this wall. I didn't buy any like kind of projector panel or do any kind of special paint. This is a rough space. It's good enough to where I can just kick back and relax, whether it's with my friends or just sometimes by myself. So that's one reason I have the desk set to that one setting. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video because now you've kind of seen a little bit of the behind the scenes as to where I shoot all these product shots. Overall, I love this space simply because instead of just a car being parked in this garage or it just being used for storage, right behind this curtain, I actually moved all the shelves that were in this garage to that side. And that's where we have things like, your typical like home garage things that you have. And so instead of this just being a space where one car is parked and it's not being utilized, this gives me a great space in the house where I can just come here at any time of the day, whether it's early morning before work or in the evenings and nights after work, and just make these videos for you because I enjoy it. I really enjoyed making these videos, and so hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, all I ask, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to find all the links in the description. And you know what I'm gonna say, like always, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.